Update spouse's entitled friend insists on staying with US and being chauffeured around everywhere. Previous post, https://www.reddit.com/r/entitled people/comments/1bid962/spouses_friend_insists_on_staying_with. People were asking for an update to this debacle, so here it is. After the original post and seeing the comments, I got even more angry at the situation. I felt very hurt/disappointed by my spouse's inability to put the needs of his spouse above a friend he rarely sees in person. I felt like I was not the priority and neither was my mom in a very vulnerable time. I simply could not tolerate the situation anymore. Everyone's responses shook some sense into me and made me determined to not be a doormat any longer. Because I was exhausted and had already told my spouse of my feelings, I essentially gave my spouse the cold shoulder. I avoided interacting with them and the friend. I refused to buy any food even for my spouse. I looked after my mom, spent lots of time with her, and made plans. When we finally talked later that day, I told spouse that I was getting a hotel room 5 minutes from the hospital and would be staying there until I felt comfortable in my own home. If that was several days, so be it. They asked if I was doing it to avoid them. I said no, I was simply done with the stress of the situation and did not care to be around the friend. By the next morning, I think they finally realized the gravity of the situation and just how upset I was. They offered to help the friend to fly home sooner. I said, why is the only option you driving them everywhere or them having to fly home? Are they that incapable that they cannot get a hotel and their own transportation? Spouse mentioned the cost of a hotel, to which I said I know friend has money, they can afford it and why travel to another country if they had no money to pay for accommodations? I told spouse that until friend is gone, I am staying at a hotel down the road from the hospital. I told spouse that I felt incredibly hurt and angry that I was not the priority in an extremely stressful time in my life, that spouse did not listen when I told them to tell the friend to make other plans than staying with us, that in trying to keep us both happy spouse deeply hurt me, their partner in life. I told spouse that they were not there for me when I needed them the most and could not be as long as they were catering to the friend. Spouse revealed they felt backed into a corner with the friend and like they had to keep us both happy. They also revealed the friend is known for sometimes having tantrums if they don't get their way. I was never told about this until now. Spouse said they'd talked to the friend about leaving, but still proceeded to drive them all day yesterday out of obligation. Spouse has told me how worried they are about me, but the fact it took this much talk to get them to realize their mistakes, well, I don't know. My mom's surgery yesterday was successful, but it was stressful and ran longer than planned. I was alone in the waiting room as my siblings are all out of state. It was hard, but I am relieved my mom is recovering well. And, yes, I spent the night in a hotel as promised as I was just drained after the long day. Spouse talked to their friend today and broke the news that they could not continue to drive the friend and that they needed to either fly back sooner or get accommodations elsewhere. My spouse is currently driving the entitled friend to their hotel in another city and is helping them get adjusted by essentially hand-holding them on transportation options. Spouse is still far too kind for their own good. Friend has yet to say thanks or contribute anything financially for all of the things spouse has done. Spouse said now the friend will be gone so you can be happy. I do not know if he meant this to guilt trip me, but it kind of felt that way. Except I'm not happy. I'm still disappointed it even took this much for my spouse to do the right thing. I am still angry and hurt. I am hopeful that we can move past this in our relationship as there is a lot of love and support normally. This situation was just a massive F up and spouse is remorseful, but I do not know how long it will take me to forgive and trust my spouse again to be there for me. I will be talking about it in therapy and will likely ask about marital counseling. Something needs to change and my spouse needs to learn when and how to say no. So yeah, that's the update. I may still do another day or two in the hotel to give myself the time and space to recover from a hellish week and a half. This whole experience has taught me to stick up for myself and not allow others to walk all over me. Thank you, fellow Redditors, for giving me the strength to put my needs above people pleasing.